Hi friends, it's Victor Costa, Peace, Love, and Muscles. Hope you're doing well, hope you're having an outstanding day, and I hope today's video makes it even better for you. Today, let's talk about a term that's often used in bodybuilding, squeezing. A lot of people say, Vic, I know how to bodybuild. All I have to do is do a complete repetition and squeeze at the top. Now, what does that mean? Well, we often talk about what the framers of the Constitution meant when they said a certain term. What I believe that the framers of bodybuilding meant, or the framers or the intenders or the people who used that topic initially, meant something very different from the way it's playing out in the gym these days. I see a lot of people in the gym doing what would be considered squeezing, basically applying pressure of one body part versus another. In other words, if I were to push this part of my arm, the forearm, against the bicep, I would feel this sensation of squeezing one body part versus the other. But let's talk a little bit about what I believe the framers of the bodybuilding world meant. The bodybuilders of the 60s and 70s, Arnold and some of the other greats, what did they really mean by squeezing? This is what I believe they meant. At the part of the exercise that you feel the greatest amount of contraction, that is where you are supposed to increase the amount of energy and connectedness and concentration to that particular muscle group. That's what I believe. So squeezing is a sensation, it's a feeling, but what I believe is they meant to say is a greater element of contraction, a way to somehow get connected to that body part, to put more energy into that body part, to focus on that body part, and to increase the level of cellular activity, blood flow, and energy to that area of the body. And that's what I believe they meant. So how can we do that? Well, we can start by getting rid of the idea that you need to apply pressure, right, in order to feel squeezing. I mean, this is squeezing, this is squeezing, this is squeezing, this is squeezing. I'll feel some kind of squeezing sensation, but I would think what they meant was a greater level of connectedness. So there's a few ways we can do that. We can start by feeling the part in the exercise that you feel the greatest connectedness to your muscles, right? The greatest amount of contraction, the greatest amount of I always talk about that argument with gravity, where that argument is at its height, where it's at its apex. And then when you get to that part of the exercise, instead of just looking for it and then getting over it, right, and going back to the eccentric part of the movement or the expansion part of the movement, you remain in that connected area and you focus there and you somehow increase the amount of attention and energy to that particular area of the muscle group. The way I do it is a couple of ways. I use visualization, focusing on that area of the body alone. Sometimes when I'm doing my curls, I actually do turn my head from side to side to increase that level of focus. I see some people in the gym and they do this. They're staring at themselves rather than kind of focusing on each area of the body that they're working. So you can do this either visually with your eyes, or you can do this mentally and create a connection and a visualization in your mind of that area of the body getting more energy, right? If I ask you right now to just try to feel your fingers, just allow yourself to get connected to your fingers and try to feel a tingling in your fingers, you could probably do it. Same thing with your nose, same thing with your ears. It's the same thing in the midst of those exercises, right? That's what it's about. It's about that kind of level of connectedness. So sometimes I do it, like I said, visually by focusing, looking, if I'm doing biceps or something like that. Other times I remain in that connected area, or they find that part in the contraction, and I hold there. And I try to either maybe loosen my grip, or I try to, I guess, push in that area a little bit more by either just relishing the connection and feeling it and just making that really part of my story of this. It's to not really get the rep over with, but it's to put energy into that area by creating my focus and my intention and awareness into that part of the body. So I think that's what the framers meant, the bodybuilding gods, the Arnolds and the like, about squeezing. Not applying pressure, but applying mental connectedness, mental pressure to shift into that area of the muscle group a little bit more, to enhance cell activity, to enhance blood flow, to just create that mind-muscle connection, to increase that argument against gravity. So I hope that decodes the term squeezing. So I don't want to see anybody in the gym doing a curl and then pushing this way really hard, okay? The connectedness happens a lot earlier in the repetition, by the way. And you can feel that when you do your curls, sometimes you feel it right about here, right? Because that's where you can kind of still sense that there's a pull down here. If I come up here, I'm often resting and then just pressing and applying pressure and not really getting anything out of that other than tired. So it's about training smarter, not harder. So I hope you guys liked the video. I hope it made some sense. Just decoding some bodybuilding terminology. Please, if you like my stuff, ding the little bell so you can subscribe, and say hello on Instagram at Vic's Natural. That's what all the kids are doing these days. And just also like on Facebook. It's Vic's Natural at both. So all the best. Please take care of yourselves. Peace, love, and muscles. Bye.